An emotional journey, because you're facing up to a lot of questions about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and also analysing what you can give. And I was probably the pauper on the group, because there were people with several more zeros after their names than what I had. But what Sally always said to me is that you've actually got other things to offer, because of your business background and your internet experience and all the rest of it. And what you have to do at the end of it is actually stand up in front of the group and say, this is my strategy, and defend your strategy and what your strategy for your philanthropy is going to do. And it was amazing to see how we all grew during that year, and how ideas formed, and how you realised what your strengths were, and how you really bonded as a group and were so supportive as a group. Fabulous set of people. Anyway, I had my sort of light bulb moment. Probably in about, the course started in May 2007, and around October I suddenly had this light bulb moment. I've been looking, we'd looked at lots of charities, and the people that had really impressed me were the small charities. And I read books like William Easterly's White Man's Burden, which says, you know, these big, you can't actually come from the top down and impose things. You've actually got to go from the ground up, and the people who are actually on the Rockface, they know what's going on, and they're accountable to the people who are the beneficiaries. And there's not sort of 5 steps of hierarchy of management. They're there and they're doing it. And we met some people that were just inspirational, just, I mean, humbling. And various other books like, you know, Hayek's, the conceit, the conceit of socialism, saying that you can order everyone around. And I really got very inspired by the small charities all on the Rockface doing things, and I sort of looked at it and I thought, well, actually, there's quite a sort of uncanny resemblance between these small individual charities who are doing things on the Rockface, but, you know, the web is coming, or has come, and it's really, they're disadvantaged versus the big companies, because the big companies can have big websites and get on the top of Google, and the big charities can do that. And in a way it was really similar to the situation we had at Holiday Rentals, because what we were doing at Holiday Rentals was letting an individual private owner of a holiday home have a really good website that was driven by templates on our big site, which was Holiday Rentals. And they were able to compete with the big villa companies that had maybe 2, 3, 4, or thousands of villas. So I just suddenly had this literally a light bulb moment. I think it was 2:35 AM on October the 17th, 2007. I suddenly woke up and I went, just a minute, I could do for small charities what Holiday Rentals did for holiday homes. And you just sort of think about it, and that was what my inspiration was. And I've spoken to several people at the Institute doing it. There's an amazing lady called Julie Toxcan-Casali who does the Youth Philanthropy Initiative, and she said she had exactly, she said, I was sitting on the side of the bath and I suddenly realised what my idea was. And you do get these light bulb moments, because you've put yourself in a position in your head where you can think it through and just let yourself be open to these ideas. So anyway, that was my strategy of defence, and I did this analysis about, you know, small charities and doing the great stuff, and they're on the Rockface, but they haven't got time to do their marketing, and how do they do their fundraising, and they're really being disadvantaged on the web. And in fact, in the UK, 90% of donations go to the top 10% of charities, and the web is actually making that worse. So I still did my strategy defence, and I was terribly proud of it, and, you know, it was a good analysis, and I've still got the slides, and thinking also to myself that what I could actually offer was my skills and my experience, and my web experience, and my entrepreneurial experience. I just had one slight problem, and that was, where was I going to get the content for? Because when we started Holiday Rentals, we just went to the back pages of newspapers and called people up, and it was all a new idea. How was I going to get to charities? You know, hi, I'm Marcelle, come on my website. Wasn't going to work. So just so happens, one of those wonderful moments of serendipity. On the same cohort was a guy called Matthew Bocock, who has since become a dear friend, and he serial entrepreneur, and I got very involved with the Community Foundation in Surrey, where he lives. And he said, you know, you should really get involved with the community foundations. And Matthew was just about to become, and has now become, the chairman of the Community Foundation Network.